So welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Josh and Josh on again, which is fantastic. Thanks for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you all to you who are listening and watching on iTunes and any other social media or whatever platform you listen to, as well as YouTube. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Appreciate all our vinyl listeners as well.
Yes.
Keep that needle spinning.
Keep.
I guess the needle doesn't really spin, does it?
No.
It stays put.
We only have 40 minutes, so we can't figure this out.
Oh, you're telling me?
Okay. Well, you know what's funny? Because I ramble on so much, you switched the order on us, so we can actually hit the important stuff first, and then my ramblings will be at the very end.
Yes, we're going to do questions.
Yeah, we're going to do some FT community questions. We've had a couple different posts on Facebook, thanks to Megan Easterday, for different opportunities for all of you to give us some questions to ask either Josh's or whoever else is on the podcast, or some just general content in general. So we're going to go to that first, like Josh said. So actually, we're going to allow Josh Scott to take it away.
With my sultry voice.
We got 8 or 10 or here so we'll try to hit all of them, and then we'll go into the rest of the content.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Timothy wants to know, not to highlight failure, but is there a plane that you just haven't quite been able to do in regard to design, either
Shinden.
too complex to build or bad handling, etc.? Shinden. No?
Shinden.
I would have to say it's probably the Shinden.
I feel pretty good about it.
The Shinden. We even had data cards made for the Shinden.
We did, and there's a lot of them up in the end.
There is like 1,500 data cards made, and if anyone doesn't know what the Shinden is, it started about 3 years ago, and it's a Japanese concept fighter that we were fortunate enough to win the World War II before it came out. So it was a really innovative thing. Curtis also designed a similar format. I don't know if they took inspiration from that, but we thought, it was, I think, a community challenge. I said, hey, build this, design it, and it kicked our butts. And we finally got to where it's flying good, but then all of a sudden we found when we did like a build video that one would fly fantastic, the other one wouldn't fly at all. And there was like no rhyme or reason. Right. And we would change things, and just like an eighth of an inch tweak somewhere would change everything. So we gave up onto it till recently, and then we have something called the FT Beta Builders.
Yes, Beta Builders.
And that's a group of 13 or 14 guys, and they take designs, and some of the key people, Dale Stratton, Joel, Dan Sponholz, and I'm going to forget a whole bunch of other people. Just don't hate us. I'm just running off. But the reason I remember Dale Stratton is he took this, and Dan said, hey, send us over those Shinden plans. We want to take a whack at it.
Give us a chance.
And it proceeded to kick their butts for a while too, and then they nailed it. And the solution was a airfoiled front canard. And now we just released the MiG-3. I'm sure we'll be talking about that later. Yep. And we're going to release a Shinden afterwards. So cool. So really cool stuff. Actually, I'm lying to you. We have a Mustang V2 because we learned a lot with the MiG-3. We're like, we got to go back to the Mustang and spit. But the Shinden's coming as a next new release, and it's not going to any longer be a flight test design. It's going to be a community release because Dale Stratton crushed it. That's awesome. He even has a mini version that flies too. So
I think I've seen that on a video of something.
It's awesome. So yeah, the Shinden has humbled me greatly.
Well done. Dale, well done as well.
Nice. Let's see. Tyler Knepp says, can you guys give us any more information on your new shop location? I hope it's still in the Northeast Ohio area, though I wouldn't blame you for heading a little south given our recent weather. Also, any chance I could stop by the current shop sometime? I'd love to meet you guys and see what you're working on.
We would love to meet you too. We try to do that as much as possible and stuff. And some days, especially when it's nice weather out, usually we're not even in the shop because we have to try to bank content.
That's 100% true.
Update on the shop. Keep it in your prayers, guys, because we have open doors and those doors shut, and then we have open doors and those doors shut, and it's getting to be quite a challenge. But our desire is to get out of this location, still stay in Northeast Ohio, but to find a place where we can fly with you, have fun with you, make memories, and also set up a model that can hopefully be placed in different parts of the country by other community members as a franchise. Right. We want people coming in through the doors, building something, flying something, getting a lot of memories, crashing, and then saying, let's do it again next week.
That's right.
Cool.
So,
that's fantastic. Thank you, Tyler.
We are flying through these.
I know.
Nathan Knight, that's Knight with a K, so he probably carries a sword. Will you have any of the new planes at Flight Fest West?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like this is really centering around me. I feel self-conscious now.
Well, at the end of the day,
you're the man.
MiG-3 is coming.
Meg 3 will be at Flight Fest
Meg 3 is
West.
going to be at Flight Fest West. We're going to get that in. Possibly Mustang V2. This weekend I'm going to work on it. The idea with the Mustang V2 is we don't want to just have people do the D model, which if anyone doesn't know, the D model is kind of like the bubble canopy, the most recent version of the Mustang. I love the, oh my gosh, it's the B model. They call it the Razorback if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it just looks so cool. So that kicked my butt for a while, and then I just ended up going to the D model, which is a lot easier to make a back for.
Right.
I want to have the new version with the top hatch with the non-poster board where it's all molded foam, and then give the option where people can build it as a Razorback or as a D model.
Okay.
And also, I believe that'll require 2 different tails. We may even bring back. Do you remember the P82, F82?
Yeah.
I did the twin Mustang. May even play around with that too.
That's hanging up here somewhere.
It's somewhere around here, but my goal is definitely Meg 3, the Mustang V2, possibly.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get as many of those out to Flight Fest West to give you guys a little taste into
so
what's
good.
going on here at the shop.
Once again, big shout out to Nerd Nick for originating the original Meg 3.
They look great.
They do.
Yeah.
Fly really cool.
And these releases are so cool. The stacks, the spinners, the details on them are really, really pretty.
Yeah. Kelton Forrester says, what would you prefer for a first camera drone, a Mavic Pro or a Phantom 4?
This is like we can have opinions now.
That is.
What would you have?
You know, to be honest with you,
And you guys were peeing your pants over the Mavic for a while.
Well, I really do like the Mavic.
We still are.
I know that some people don't like this, but I really do like the saturation of color on the Mavic. That's probably because I am not the most technical camera drone operator kind of guy. I'm not super into the cinematic feel, but I just love when the colors pop.
Yeah.
Almost like a painting, with like a watercolor painting or whatever. But that I probably would prefer the Mavic in that regard, just because it's easy to take anywhere. You fold the arms up and you just go. You put it in your pocket if you have large pockets. Just in general,
like Jinko jeans.
Yeah, dude. So for me, I think I would choose the Mavic in that regard.
I got.
But
What?
dude, we're out of the loop here, bro.
You don't remember Jinko jeans?
No.
You grew up in the 90s,
I
right?
remember Bugle Boys.
Okay.
I'm at a
have a
loss.
pair.
That's fine.
I'm at a loss.
That's okay.
But at the end of the day, I would probably go with the Mavic Pro. But you can do the Phantom 4. Obviously, you can probably get them at a cheaper price here coming up here shortly.
Because they have the Phantom 4 Pro coming.
Right, because they have a couple different Phantoms coming out, in that generation. But overall, I would probably choose the Mavic.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I'm 110% with you. You're not going to use what you can't carry with you easily.
Right.
And a lot of people, they don't have a need for all the awesome features that the Phantom 4 and the Phantom 4 Professional offer. It has a lot of features. It has this really cool, the bigger sensor, things like that. Right. But the Mavic, the fact that if you can carry a DSLR, you can literally put the Mavic in the same spot. And it's super intuitive. It's fun to fly. You can get in tighter spaces. I like the tap to focus, how you can play with it back and forth.
That's fantastic.
It's kind of like the every person's camera drone. I really like it. So for that reason alone, if I'm flying the Phantom 4 and you want to get something really epic, a beautiful shot, strafe, that's a great purpose for it. But the Mavic, you can literally just take it out and fly and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily be using it as a tool. So for that, it has my vote.
And it's a DJI product either way,
Yeah.
Mavic or Phantom. So it's going to do exactly what you want it to do. It's got so many different features that you're going to love. It's easy to fly, almost flies itself, really, either one of those. So either way you go, you're going to love both of them.
Yep. Good question.
Okay. Raven Plate, that's a cool name.
That is cool.
Says, could you guys try making a video on making an Xbox remote programmed as a transmitter?
I think I saw that request in a YouTube, one of our videos. He put that in the video.
Yeah.
And that's a very good, but I think below that, someone had already done that.
Correct.
And I don't have that wisdom, unfortunately.
and that's the other thing is that even if we don't do something, there is someone in our forums or our YouTube channel or in the articles or something of that nature, reach out to people because someone has probably done something at some point. Even if we haven't done it, there are so many people out there that have done so many things.
The crazy thing is so many of that Xbox controller that he's referring to, so many of the small microplanes already have a controller that's basically exactly that.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah, good
Which is
question.
really cool.
Andre Rousseau.
Hey, Andre.
Hey.
He says, why do you love Canadians so much?
Because they're awesome, eh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Just so good. And Andre, by the way, is killing it with the volunteer setup.
Yes.
For Flight Fest West, which, by the way, Andre, big shout out to you. Well done, my friend.
Yeah.
Just was in contact with him the other day for some t-shirts. But that being said, on the Flight Fest West things, if you want to volunteer and you haven't done so already, check out Flight Fest West or flightfest.com, go to the West page and sign up, because we're still looking for volunteers. We're still looking for people to come help out and do anything and everything, because we have obviously a lot of stuff going to be going on. Get in contact with Andre on Facebook or wherever, because he is obviously, he's the main man for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job.
Tell me if you agree with this or not. I think when we look back and say there's 20 Flight Fest someday, we're going to look back, and I think the most impactful thing that we're going to remember is the volunteers.
Yes.
As I choke on my coffee.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what really made it. And from day one, Fred Provost led it for a couple of years. God bless him. And it's just really cool to see the evolution where people literally take their time, money, and energy, and they put it towards serving others.
That's right.
And that's really, when you guys come to Flight Fest, if it's your first time, you're going to see that a really quick thing. The culture and just the hearts of people is incredible.
That's right. Yeah, and if you when you're at Flight Fest, you see all the volunteers running around, and then you see us. And can you imagine a Flight Fest without volunteers? It wouldn't be there. It literally would not happen. Without, we can do all the planning and prep we'd ever want and show up at some random place,
but we just don't get things done.
And we wouldn't get things done. It's just how it is. And so thank you, volunteers, for all that you do in the past Flight Fests, as well as the Flight Fest coming up, because without you, none of this would be possible.
They're the champions.
They are.
My friend. Jeremy Thompson says, will we be able to fly our PPGs at Flight Fest, Ohio? Flight Fest East.
That's a really good, I think I know Jeremy. I think that's a Jeremy I know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's from Northeast Ohio, too?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
he didn't say.
The answer is going to be no. We are actually working with Aviator PPG to come down and do a demonstration, but it's not going to be an open flying event. Maybe someday in the future, because the response with this PPG content, which we haven't even fully launched yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We just done, I think, 2 videos and a couple vlog segments about it. I cannot wait to share the journey of going from not knowing anything about PPG to actually getting a solo.
Right.
And it's from 4 different perspectives. But unfortunately, Flight Fest really needs to be opened up as much as possible to the people that are coming out to build, fly, make memories that way. We will have some demonstrations from Aviator. Maybe in the future, if this really catches on, we should do a PPG event. You know what I mean? Come out to Malvern and it's just all PPG. I think that could be something really cool. Flight Fest South may be a different story, because we're possibly going to be utilizing and networking with Aviator at their home ground. And that may change it. Plus, the land is so much more. It's a huge, huge location where you can have that kind of separation safely.
Yeah, that's true.
That's cool. David Tucker says, will Flight Test be making a larger version of the Corsair to pair with the new Warbirds?
This is my... I just realized if they're listening, they can't see me smiling.
Yeah.
Yes. This is so cool. I thought it was getting really frustrating, but something clicked with the MiG-3, with wrapping it, and I'm excited to really look at a lot around fuselages. I'm even looking at a GB for the future, because it's fun, and both the craft white and the water resistant. I wasn't specific about that in the past. Yes, you can do this technique with both. It's not even an advanced technique. It's just something I never even thought of really trying, and how hard it's. Like, you don't know until you try.
Right.
And it was just a matter of how you roll it. For the longest time, I'd roll foam by trying to use a dowel rod and pick it up. It's the exact opposite. You actually push it down over a corner, and you have so much more control to shrink it and to move it. So, we're going to take the Corsair for sure.
The Corsair has the wings that kind of come up a little bit. Do we have any kits like that?
Yeah, we got the mini Corsair.
The mini Corsair.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. And that one's a fantastic design. It uses a lot of poster board, and we'll probably revisit that and really take it, because that one flies really nice for being a mini.
Yeah.
And I know there are some bigger Corsairs already out by our community members with free plans. I think Flying Penguin has one, and I think it's a pay for plan, but there's a lot of really great ones.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely look at what they've done, give them shouts outs and love and stuff. But we'll make it happen.
Cool.
That's awesome. Good question.
Tad Leeds, are we doing good?
Yeah, we're doing great.
Okay. Tad Leeds wants to know, or he says, actually, foamies are awesome. Enjoy the content you guys have put out. I've learned a lot. But
thank you, brother.
Would you please produce a beginner/intermediate/advanced series on scratch building balsa models, specifically highlighting different building techniques, covering and repairing.
I like
Balsa.
that. Do you remember back when we did some balsa content in Chad's basement?
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
Yeah.
And I also realized how nice foam was. Brother, I don't know if you can look behind us and stuff. We actually brought some stuff in on purpose. That is a 111cc version of the Sportster. And we're going to definitely be bringing some balsa techniques, but we're also going to be melting it in, because the balsa technique, whether it's a model airplane or whether it's a full-scale airplane, are actually the same. There is a bevel, there's a glue joint, and there's plants. And what we're going to try to do is really cover all the different aspects. The nice thing is that you can see in the background there's a stabilizer there. We're going to be showing that, hopefully jumping from the general aviation world to the model world and breaking down those barriers of knowledge. I don't know when it's going to happen, because I think, oh yeah, next month is not that busy, and all of a sudden it hits you. I really think now, looking at it responsibly, we need to find a different location where we could set this room up to do this and then walk away and then come back into it. Because right now, unfortunately, when we walk away, we got to clear that spot off. Yeah. And these things need to be able to live and grow as they're developed to really cover it properly.
Right.
So the answer is yes. That really needs to be covered soon, because our goal with Flight Test is not just to teach people how to build foam airplanes. It's teach them how to fall in love with building and how to fall in love with flying. Right. Once they've exploited everything they can out of foam, we want to start that journey over again with balsa. Once we've gone through balsa, we'll start with carbon fiber or fiberglass, and we'll just keep picking different materials. And that's one reason why we want to be around for many, many years. Right. We don't fall out in love with things, but the most important thing is we make people realize they can have success. Yeah. We don't want to showcase our abilities. We want to empower other people to do great things.
That's right. Great question.
All right. Shane Miller says, do you guys plan on coming to the Northeast? Well, Shane, that depends on where you are.
Yes. Northeast.
Relative to you, what is Northeast?
You never know. There may or may not ever be a Flight Fest in the Northeast. You never know if it keeps growing.
I thought we are Northeast.
Well, we're in the Northeast Ohio.
So you're looking for like more Northeast.
More like
Northeast.
I'm guessing he's thinking more like Massachusetts,
maybe Canada,
New York, Canada.
We could do a Canada.
We could do a Canada
because we love Canadians so much.
We do, and we also love great hobbies. They've been phenomenal.
Good old great hobbies.
So,
great hobbies.
Love you, brother.
Good old shout out there. Yeah. So you never know. We may or may not be traveling up to the Northeast at any point in time, depending on opportunities coming our way in the near future or far future. But as of right now, we don't have any plans to travel up there at the moment, because there's nothing up there at the moment.
We're currently getting ready for Flight Fest West, and then hopefully in November we're going to try to pull off a Flight Fest South. That's teased, but we're working for it. You know, and that'll be early November.
Correct.
Catch out of the bag.
Yeah.
Thanks,
of course,
Shane.
Flight Fest East as well too.
Yes.
Let me see. Where was I? Henry Davis says, will the brushless Gremlins power pack you had in vlog number 57, when they say vlog number 57, do you know what they're talking about? Which one?
I do remember kind of what we were talking about.
It was sort of recent.
I don't remember the specific one, but
we're going to act like we do though.
Will those power packs be in the Graupner store or UK anytime soon?
I would seriously, I don't think so. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I think if it comes to the Graupner store, it'll probably be a Graupner Power Pack solution, and we're definitely happy to work with Graupner on that. Just so people know, the 1104 Power Packs, that's a project with Emacs that we've been working with. Right. And really, the Gremlin concept is around that size motor. It's not necessarily around that specific motor, if that makes sense. So just like people talk about tiny whoops and 250 size quads and 180s and things like that, the Gremlin concept is really, it's that perfect size where it's durable. You can design frames around it. We really want to spark people's imagination, just like what we try to do with foam board planes, to carry that in there. So if we have a Flight Fest Europe, you better believe we're bringing it down. But as of right now, that will be something we need to work with Graupner.
Gotcha.
Golden.
You know that they can see.
I feel like, I don't.
So essentially what I just did was I was like, we're going to cut that off right there, and we'll be done with the question and answering segment. Try to be on the
now
low
we got to
key.
get one more.
We almost made it through. We only had one more left.
Let's just do one more.
All right.
There are no rules.
We'll do that last one there.
Okay.
This is for you,
Nathan Span.
This is for you, Nathan.
What are the differences between the Tyrannus QX7 and the X9D?
Oh, a lot. And for that, we'll ask TJ. Okay, like I said, we're done. There's about $128 difference, first of all, right? Okay, so we got about $128 price point difference. The gimbals, if I'm not mistaken, are better.
On the X9D, which is the older one.
Yeah.
Stefan was right. We should have quit while we were ahead.
More switches.
Yeah.
There's not enough difference to justify buying it over the QX7.
Okay, so here to repeat what TJ has said is the QX7 for about $100 or $110 if you get it from our store with the modified Mode 2 spring thing. It's worth every penny. It's not worth spending the extra $120. Now they are coming out with an improved gimbal version, which will make it really, really nice. Right. And if anyone's aware, they have a beautiful Hall effect gimbal that you can buy as an option. They've been out of stock forever. The new X9D is coming out with those gimbals and probably a little bit of new look.
It'll have gimbals. You'll be able to get the new paint schemes and also
new gimbals,
antenna.
New paint scheme.
Yeah, so it'll be
new antennas.
Yeah, the newer one is what will be worth the money.
Customized voice pack with Josh Bixler saying hi.
and TJ going, I'm turning off.
You know, we can't say that because now we have to make good.
Right.
Take back the last part you didn't hear.
So now if you're going to get a QX7, it's a great option. 100%. Awesome radio. So far, a lot of people have loved it. I know TJ has enjoyed using it a lot. But yeah, wait for the newer model if you're going to upgrade to that price point.
And if you like the X9D, I believe we're going to be one of the first ones to get the first batch of those new gimbal ones.
Fantastic. That is good stuff. That is great to know. Thank you, Josh Bixler.
And thank you, Nathan.
That. So thank you so much for all your questions.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all those. And obviously we got to get to them today, which is really cool.
Yep.
Thank you, Josh, for reading them.
Oh,
you have
welcome.
such a great voice with that. Yeah. Awesome.
So beautiful.
You did great, Josh
really?
Bixler. Well done.
So nice of you.
Man, you guys killed it.
Right. I'm going to write that in my baby book. Or my diary.
Moving forward now, the one of the things we've been doing lately, as you guys have recently noted, we've been messing around a little bit with a giant mini quad.
We've been teasing that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We literally teased it for, I don't know, 3
weeks? To the
weeks,
point where I think people were getting mad. Yeah. Not just like annoyed, but mad at us. And it's because we had to. You know, you only have one round in that chamber. You got to shoot that sucker. That's
true. You know, sometimes you just got to do that.
Yeah.
And luckily,
we released it.
Luckily for us, we released it, and the response has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's by far the most overwhelming response I think we've ever had in the history of Air videos. Growing.
And TJ just gave me an update on the view count, 492,000 views.
Safe to say we'll probably cross it. It hasn't even been a week yet.
Right.
So
4 days.
Wow.
4
Friends,
days.
thanks for making that possible. That's really cool.
That is an unbelievable response. For those of you that have been part of the channel for a very long time, for those of you that have not even ever seen a video and that's your first video, to all of you, thank you so much because that really makes a difference. If you do get an opportunity to subscribe to see more content, that's awesome too. If not, it's all good. We love you the same, right? It's fantastic.
Well, and the one thing I feel bad about is we have TJ behind the camera, so you can't see him right now. But we have the least to do with any of it. And
that's 100%.
And we got to own that from the very beginning because I don't want to even talk like we do. TJ and Chad Lewis and also T-Motor made this possible. And TJ established a relation with T-Motor. And basically, TJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said, hey, we got a lot of crazy projects. We need some crazy big motors. And T-Motor says, I like your crazy projects. We'll send you these big motors and have fun. And what they have coming, I think, in comparison to the mini quad is, in my mind, tenfold. It's if they pull this off, what they're going to do, it's going to be like something I've never seen or never thought we could ever see. But they needed a therapy project. They needed something just to do with it because you're not going to have that kind of gear sitting around on the shelves. And so I think while we were gone, wasn't when we were gone paramotoring? They're like, okay, we got to build something. And so they did.
I like how he just rubs that in people's faces all the time. Was it when we were down in Florida?
It wasn't name dropping that we were flying PPGs
it's been nonstop.
Florida in the middle of the winter.
He's like, I'm going to get a paramotor and we're going to fly out back. And
soaking up the vitamin D there.
Yeah, did that happen when I was down in Florida paramotoring?
Yeah. Doing the things in the air.
That's cool.
He even talked about it at lunch today, too.
No, that's crazy.
He did.
You know, sometimes you guys say things. Just like that one time when I was paramotoring, you said that one thing. So yes, like I said, the important thing you need to remember is while we were paramotoring, they wanted to have a fun. They wanted a fun project, and
they did it.
And you know, it's so cool. The right people come into flight test at the right time for the right reasons. And Chad Lewis and TJ, I don't want to put out how they made this happen, but basically they came through our doors and they never left. That sounds really bad, but Chad came down to Flight Fest last year and he never left. And he was like, hey, let me just hang around the shop. And he did that the year before and he hung out for a week and we really loved him, but we were in no place to give him a job.
Yeah.
And this year we're like, okay, now we can't get rid of him because he's so needed. Like he immediately from day one, and the Kraken just off to the right here is a shining example of what he can do and what he brings to the table. But so much more, the morale, the positive energy. One of the best things about this job is the people here have such a positive energy. They have such a love of life, love of people, and that's something that we never 100% possessed. I think until this chapter of Flight Test is just let's go make something great happen. And TJ and Chad have really taken it to another level. And the Star Destroyer, that was something done, I think, while we were off on a business trip. When they get together, crazy big things happen. Yeah. And the cool thing is it hasn't fallen apart. It's like legitimately built well.
It's literally hanging on our wall right now. Around the corner.
No motors falling off. No crazy props.
The only thing he's done has been changing 2 props. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and that definitely that was a big crunch. But the cool thing I like about that, and why I say that, is we get to take this now to Flight Fest West. We're going to take it to Flight Fest East. We're going to get to actually fly this again and let people see it, and more importantly, hear it. Yeah, the sound is one of the coolest.
It sounds like a small airplane.
And then afterwards, I'm gonna strap it to my back and fly it on my paramotor. Because I did that.
You little
see, I did that.
I see.
I worked it back in.
I see where
it was clever.
Yeah, it was
Didn't even see it coming.
It was like it was a joke at first, but now you're really starting to annoy us.
I'm gonna own it.
Yeah. We should kick him off the podcast.
How many people are turning off the radio right now?
Right.
It's such a jerk.
So thanks so much, Chad and TJ, for all that you do. They really have come into a wonderful relationship together to really hit some big things and make a lot of things happen. So thanks so much. And also T-Motor, we couldn't have done without you. Your generosity, as well as a lot of other people in the community and the opportunities that have arisen for some full-scale stuff as well as RC stuff. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to the flight test opportunities as of late, because it's really been an unbelievable cool thing. So that being said, we also did a shoot the other day. We recapped the MiG-3s, and we kind of talked a little bit about it already. What I wanted to talk a little bit is the release date. Yeah. Do we have a release date on tap for that?
It's going to be this Monday. So if you guys are, actually, if you're listening to this now, it's already been released. Yeah. Yes. Because this is going out next week. April 4th is when the release is going to launch out. And it was a fun video. Yeah. The hardest thing is anytime you shoot a video, you get so wrapped up in what you're doing, you forget, like, am I giving everyone the proper shout out, the proper love? I want to just do it one more time just to give everyone the shout out, because there's 4 key individuals that really took this thing to another level. We've mentioned Nerd Nick now a couple times in a couple different podcasts. He was the original creator of the MiG-3. We have our version now. But the neat thing is this is a plane that for some people would be really intimidated by. 2 great gentlemen, Richard Kennedy and Miles. Oh my golly, Miles, I'm going to forget your last name.
Davis.
Miles Davis is a star. Okay, we're just going to call him Miles. Okay, that's Miles, you know who you are.
Link to his last name.
Yeah, Richard Kennedy and Miles. And I'm so sorry, Miles. I just had a brain fart.
It's all good.
They both designed the simulator versions. So Richard Kennedy works within Phoenix. Miles works within Real Flight 7.5. And the reason why we really, really love this is people can fly before they build, before they take it up for the first time. That does a lot of different things. It gets them excited about the project, gets them excited about the journey they're going to have. It also gives them the best training to give them success. And that's really where our hearts are. These planes, every time they do a new release, they just get more beautiful, more like, at this point, I'm thinking that there's a professional group of engineers designing these because they really take it to a whole nother level. And, a couple other key mentions, Rasterize, Steven Rosera. I butchered his last name, Steven. He does a lot of the skins now as well too. So this community release is a community release like none other, because we have so many different people. And we mentioned Dan Sponholz. Literally, I think anytime something with community comes up, he did the plans for it, but also he drew the 3D parts that we're going to put on for free. So if you build this, there's some things that simple foam board can't make. You can now 3D print these with free downloadable files. And then also our friend Chad Lewis in the back. Our gimmick with this is we wanted to be able to do a third-person view dogfight. And so I had a barbecue stick and like this rubber pad, and Chad looked down and it's like, I can make a part for that. And I'm not kidding you. It's like, what, 30 minutes, Chad? 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. The part took 12 minutes to print. So to give you an idea, he designed it in roughly 8 minutes.
8 minutes, yeah.
And he came back with this awesome thing that holds our little Hyperion cameras on the tail, so it doesn't wiggle around, it doesn't jiggle, and you can literally print this little part out. It's so simple. and slap it on any of our designs, even the minis. You know, you just have to shift your battery a little bit more forward, but it gives you the most beautiful third-person view. Yeah. And we were just roaring and laughing so much, I was totally forgetting about what I was even supposed to talk about. I was completely lost in the fun. And so I want to take every opportunity now, and I'm going to just hijack your thing just to make sure we thank all these people.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's going to be a fun release.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys enjoy it too, because try it, you'll love it.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I did chase cam that day, and I had a lot of fun watching all these planes flying in the air. I can hear you guys in the background just like laughing, and
you could hear gunfire in the background.
This is true. Because of the gun range around the corner.
We got to be specific about that.
But it is what it is. But in general, yeah, it was really a really fun time. Probably one of the more exciting and fun times that we've had on a shoot as of late, for sure.
We had a rough March, really rough March. Matter of fact, next week there's not a single day that's not raining.
Yeah.
So we are really getting our tushes kicked with this bad weather, and we had the one window of opportunity, and we got out there, and I'm not going to lie, like literally we hadn't even got to really fly these planes yet. You know, we test flew them a couple times, but the final version still needed test flown, and the guys, TJ, Alex, myself, we hadn't even taken them up yet. So we're taking them up. There's no electricity out there. You know, Alex lands it, and it kind of tumbles a little bit and breaks the motor mount loose. So we're like taping things, and the spinners are blowing up. And it was like, okay, this is looking pretty rough. And at the end, to have that experience and flying around, it just shows strip all the stuff away and just go out and have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
And flying and streamer cutting third person view is so much easier than having it on the nose and having like flying wings. It's crazy easy with these warbirds. And I'd encourage you, if you see the video, guys, download those files. Yeah, do it. You'll love it. It's exactly, I think, what these foam board warbirds are made for.
Yeah, it was really cool. And that this will be later because it's going out next week. But the vlog that's going out today will actually have some footage from that. From that episode release. Streamer cut and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that as well. And you should enjoy that. All right. So one other big thing that I wanted to talk about today was a recent development from a community member. So I'll have to remember the name. I can't remember it offhand. But we have a thing called Help Scout, and we get emails and do some support and stuff like that. And a guy shot me a video link of this guy named Robert, and he goes by Red, Robert Red Jensen, and he works at the NASA Armstrong's Subscale Research Lab in California. And so I got this random email, watched the video, and I ended up emailing him because it was such an interesting little situation. So a little bit about this, and that's kind of how it all came about, but a little bit about this Red Jensen guy. He works at the NASA Armstrong Subscale Research Lab. This lab, it does model airplanes and are used to like testing like cutting edge aeronautical ideas with the smaller scale so that they can move on into the full scale. Obviously, it helps with not having people exploding into real aircraft. It's small little airplanes that are crashing and stuff like that.
It's not always exploding. Sometimes it's being crushed to death.
That's so true, which is nice. And they've used that for, life-saving crash avoiding systems. And this video specifically was for more efficient rocket launches, which everybody loves rockets. So they're a lot of fun. We've experienced a couple of those here at Flight Test, which is a lot of fun too. But so a couple of different things that they've been working on. And Red, if you listen to this podcast at one point, thank you for all that you do, because obviously NASA has a lot to do with a lot of different things, especially in the aeronautical world. So they have this thing called the Prandtl. So what it does is I'm trying to think of how to describe it to you without being ridiculous. It's a giant, like massive wing, and we'll have the link to the video down below. It's a giant wing that is supposed to be able to launch from Earth, and its end goal will to land on Mars, which is really cool, by the way. I wish I could go to Mars at any point in time. But it's supposed to make wings.
And it's really warm.
And it's kind of red.
And it's really cold.
It's kind of red. But to take it and launch into space and go to Mars. And also it's supposed to make like wings up to 11% more efficient. So it's a really cool little thing. I guess it's about shedding the vortex a little bit earlier on an open wing design. You probably know more about that than I do, just in general, which is really cool. But because we've played with wings here and stuff like that. But
wings are cool.
They That is the scientific term as well. That is how we see model airplanes, not so much NASA.
It's like the perfect sound grab right there.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
Wings are cool.
TM.
And one of the other things that they're doing is that they're trying to make rocket launches more efficient. So what they're doing now is instead of taking a ground launch, right, which is you're tied to a weather window, right? You have to all the things have to be going right to be able to do that. It's also super expensive because of the ground launch and getting everything situated. You also burn up to like 30% of your fuel just in the initial launch. So they're trying to figure out how to make it less expensive, et cetera, et cetera. So they're not trying to do an air launch. So they're making this glider that is towed by another aircraft, essentially, which we've done some glider tows in the past, right?
Cool.
So a lot of these different things that they're doing is kind of FT related,
Right.
a little bit. They're probably a bit more.
They have a little higher budget than we do.
That's 100% true, which is nice. So the nice thing about an air launch is that you're kind of free to roam wherever you want to. Right, so you don't have to worry about the ground. You can go, and obviously you have to watch out for other airplanes and stuff like that. But
You can get them in the position where they need to be to have a safe launch. And if it's not good here, they can go somewhere else.
exactly, so you're not tied down to anything. They're much more efficient. You know, you save fuel for allowing to either put more payload into space or less fuel with the same payload, which is really nice. Also, on the video, it kind of talks a little bit about it, but it's up in the air, and they tow it up, and then they drop the rocket, and then it falls, and then it plops into space. Just goes, goes and goes and goes. And so I wanted to bring this to our attention and to the viewers' attention because I've always felt, and maybe this is not the case that you guys are, but I've always felt that NASA, anything NASA related, was kind of unattainable, unreachable. Unable to be thought about, because it's way over my head or something of that nature. This video really kind of brings it down to earth, no pun intended, but to really show like how they do things, what they do, why they do it, in a way that's easily understandable, as well as these guys are just regular guys trying to make space flight a reality, or making other things just more efficient or whatever it may be. And it really shows that in the video. And I thought that was really cool because that has always been my opinion of NASA. It's like, dude, I'm not smart enough to even think and watch a video about NASA because it's just ridiculous. But it really did show the wonderful characteristics of the people who work there. Red Jensen, I actually got to interact with him over Facebook recently and have been chatting with him a little bit. And super down to earth guy, loves to fly model planes. He's got a couple of his own. He's actually going to be at Flight Fest West this year. Cool. So they're going to come out and probably have a little booth set up or a trailer. They're going to being involved in the flight activities, and they're going to have, like we always talk about, we're going to have some fun, which is really cool. So I think in general, really, really I just really am excited about that, and I wanted to share that with you guys, and also you guys on the podcast, because at the end of the day, it's about sharing memories and sharing relationships.
Right. Nice thing about these events too is that you can come down and see us. We're on YouTube a lot, but more importantly, the great people in the community, when they get together, there's so many cool people like Red that come to these events, and you're going to grow a lot by getting to meet them, the friendships, all that stuff. So
that's true.
Really cool.
Yeah, Red, thank you so much for what you're doing. Really enjoying it, and hopefully can't wait to obviously meet you at Flight Fest. We'll be talking more, but we'll see you there. And if you're at Flight Fest West, come out and see the little NASA stuff that they got going on there. They'll have a little booth and stuff like that. So come and meet them. I'm sure they'd love to meet you. You can learn a little bit about what they do, and also maybe a little bit about space flight and all that stuff. So that'll be kind of cool. One of the other things we got going on tap today is another community showcase from our own community. It's an article on our articles page, and the guy's name on the articles is called Dadventure, which he is more known in the real world as Caleb Meeks. So what's up, Caleb? Hope you're doing well.
I love this,
which is really cool. So and you guys watched the video earlier,
yes, it
right?
warmed our hearts.
He's a first and foremost, you're doing a great job on your dad skills.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that impressed me the most.
It's inspiring.
It really is.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, and I'll have the video link down below, I could have watched the video over and over again just because of the relationship that he had with his kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an unbelievable situation. And so we talk about it all the time. And this is the main reason for having this here, is that when you go and you try something, right? And you talk about it with your kids all the time, that you can go and build an airplane in an hour and fly it, no problem, design it, whatever. But when you bring your kids along, like let's talk about the 200% Sea Duck that you and Michael got to build and fly together.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
And the journey is not really the flying at the end. The best part about that is seeing them mess up and help them, find out how to, get a solution. But also those times that you have during the building and during the learning aspect to it. Parents can break their kids or they can build them up. Yeah. And those times when you're working on weird, crazy projects is those perfect opportunities to teach them how to deal with failure, how to deal with stress, how to deal with, basically just learn to be perseverance.
Yeah, learning perseverance.
Yeah. Just the value of it.
Yeah,
and all the benefits. And that Sea Duck was definitely a memory. Yeah. Because it was the first time my dad had a great knack for folding his arms at the right time and saying, "No, son, you got this," and just encouraging me and letting me fail 5 times to the point where I'm ready to throw the knife at him and just give up. And then he would come in at that right time and give me the key to success. And I realized the reason he stepped back wasn't because he didn't want to help me, but because he wanted me to grow.
Right.
And that is so cool because you see that with his kids. Like there's those awesome points where the kids are like, "I am done.
Yeah, I want to go to the slides.
I want to go to the slides."
Right.
And he just shows them the value of perseverance.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna try this, and he gives them the slide time, and then he pulls them back in because he wants to see them to be part of that journey, being successful.
And you could tell when they finally started getting some decent flights that his son especially was so into it.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Now, I'm sure you've had situations with your kids where you've done these things as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any off the top of your head that you can think of. Like,
well, I can tell you one. It's not related to flight tests, but with the World War II interviews that I've been doing, my family went and visited one of the veterans that I've kind of become friends with.
Oh wow!
And his favorite meal is grilled cheese sandwiches from Marianne Donuts, which is the most random thing I've ever heard in my life.
I never knew they make grilled cheese.
I didn't either until he told me about it.
I want one.
He said, "If you want a good grilled cheese," and I'm like, "Okay." So we brought him some grilled cheese sandwiches, and we sat down with him, kind of visited, and at some point. He started talking about his service in the war, and he was in the Navy in the Pacific Fleet in the Pacific Theater, and he was on these ships that were originally landing craft, but they converted them into rocket launching ships.
Oh wow!
And so he's telling my son Logan about it, and so here's. Ernie is, I think he's about 94, 95 years old, and Logan is 8 years old. and Logan's just like attentively listening. And there was a lot of times throughout the day that we were there, Logan's getting fatigued and he wants to play on the iPad or when are we going to go, blah, 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 all this stuff. But he had this moment where there's this World War II veteran talking to him about, some really cool stuff about, these ships that had all these rocket launchers on it, could launch like 1,000 rockets and all this stuff. And Logan was really interested in it.
Right.
And I know that he probably doesn't really understand the weight of that exchange and what he learned, but I know that years from now he'll be able to look back at that and think, wow, that's a great opportunity that I had right there. Right. And so I think it's a give and take, and I love what Caleb did, because there is that give and take. There was times where he told his kids, hey, no, let's keep trying this, let's try it again. They wanted to go play on the slides, but he's like, no, let's try it again. So he's teaching them perseverance, but at the same time recognizing these are kids and they want to live kid lives. So I love that how he balanced the two things. And I think at the end of it, they got some successful flights and the kids had fun on the slides as well. So it was win-win.
One of my favorite parts we were laughing was when the young lady was just lamenting over the last broken prop. She was broken for this broken copter, and it was just like, thank you, by the way, just thank you so much, Caleb, for giving us the opportunity to see into your world and to hopefully inspire a lot of other dads.
It was a cool video.
That's a picture I think I hope a lot of dads can be like, okay, let's just have this crazy weird project. And we live in a world where those kind of things are hard to define, that are affordable, economical, easy to do. It doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah. And he demonstrated that beautifully.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. And the title of the article is like RC airplane under $20 for 20-minute build or something of that nature. So we'll have a link down below, but that's not the point. It was the point was the relationship with his kids and stuff like that. He does have free printable plans. You can go on, download that and fold it up and, buy one of those little mini copters and fly one around on your own as well with your kids. Do it with your kids. Do something fun with your kids. Yeah. Maybe it's not this specific one, but thank you for sharing, Caleb, because it really has been an unbelievable time watching the video. my kid's only 4 months old, but I can't wait to build
That's a
this
great
kind
place
of
to
something
start right there.
Yeah, it really is. And it's an unbelievable article. Go and check it out. I know that he has some free plans. He's also got a website, I think, as well. So go check him out. Give him some love. Help him out. Do whatever you can, and enjoy the story. Enjoy the journey that he takes you on, because it's a really cool journey. So, and as far as that's concerned, the community itself, when you share something, right, people are blessed. People are definitely take that to heart. And so continue to share, continue to open up your hearts and your minds and your abilities and share them with the rest of the community, because that's how it grows. That's how the Flight Test has always been growing and growing and growing. We talked about it on the last podcast with our guests, Mike Finley and Chris Roncaglione. It's about those relationships, and it's about sharing the community oriented stuff that really broadens the, like you say, takes all the ships that are in the water. When you raise the water, all the ships raise. And so that's kind of the motto that we've had here as of late.
It's funny because we work with airplanes.
Yeah, it's true. Which, seas, skies, that's all the same.
There's no good analogy. Rising tides rated all ships always works.
Yes, it's true. Well done. I love it.
I've been thinking of an airplane one. It's just really difficult.
Thermal. When you have a thermal,
but then there's a sink.
That's true.
You can't think about that.
We're just ruining the end of this podcast.
You can't go that deep.
We just broke the podcast.
Luckily, my job is to try to keep these two on track, and
Nice try.
I get to interject at times. But the nice thing about them is that they have a great relationship, and you guys are always usually on the same wavelength. And people, people love that in the episodes in the podcast. It doesn't matter where. You guys have really opened up that relationship.
We were discussing what Disney songs we like to sing the most. Today, and. Tune in next time to hear.
Right? Next time you'll see them shouting it out. Right? So, Josh, thanks for being here. Josh, Scott, thanks for being here as well. If you want to, down below, let us know in the comments what you want to see on this podcast, whether it's a guest. I know there's a forum post that just got posted recently about your ideas of who you'd like to see on the podcast. So go in there, chime in. I'm going to be looking through that pretty often, seeing everybody's comments. Also, leave a comment down below on what you want to hear about, who you want to see, all that kind of stuff. Share it in both places. I'll be looking. We'll all be looking, and hopefully we can get some awesome content on here for you guys to listen to and watch. So
absolutely. And
thanks so much for watching.
I love it how at the very end of this, you literally type the word deuces.
Yes, it's literally right there.
This is an organized gentleman right here.
It's on there.
We should all say it together.
Yeah, ready?
So on that note, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Deuces.